Hello everybody, or should I say, alright fellas. My name is Solomon's Level X, but you can just call me Solomon's, and I will be your host for the first ever annual Pokemon Masters EX Awards that have at least been held by me. And this award ceremony will feature a wide variety of sync pairs from 2023, all of which have been voted for by the people in a survey I put out a few days ago. We received 514 total responses, and I thank all of you for making your opinion known through these awards. Due to the awards being very last minute, I apologize if I couldn't get a bigger than serviceable sample size, and that I didn't have the time to properly represent the best side of Pokemon Masters EX's sync pairs. The responses and feedback left by you, the wonderful audience, will be used to refine the award ceremony next year, so that everyone can be happier. But for now, let us commence the Pokemon Masters EX Awards of 2023. For our first award, we have the Golden Signu Red Award for the most valuable striker sync pair. This tends to count characters that are able to do absolutely absurd amounts of damage, but can also include strikers that, of course, are able to do supportive capabilities, disruptive capabilities, and etc. So, for our third place winner, winning the Bronze Signu Red Award for the best, most valuable striker sync pair, we have Neo Champion Nate and Haxorus. This sync pair's ability to do absolutely absurd damage with Dark Black Outrage, as well as buff his own physical moves next to unprecedented levels of strength, is absolutely insane and makes him a viable candidate for this third place option. Nate's ability to set Unova Circle with his Unova Passion trainer move is also an insanely new ability that is able to buff other damage dealers to unprecedented levels of strength that are partnered up with him. It's able to buff allies' physical moves as well as their physical damage reduction, meaning that Nate is not only able to do good levels of damage, but he is also able to support other characters and be on a wider range of teams because he's able to help out allies' damage and not just his own. Not only that, he is one of the best striker sync nukes in the game and one of the best recipients of the Field EX role that we have ever seen, being able to set Dragon Zone, an ability that is definitely more needed and needs more diverse setting. So Neo Champion Nate, you are definitely deserving of this third place award. Moving on to second place, we have Neo Champion Marnie and Galarian Moltres with 99 total votes. Neo Champion Marnie is an absolutely insane titan of the 3.5 anniversary, being able to apply a lot of extra damage with her Fiery Wrath, as well as have well over 600 special attack with her passive skills activated, meaning she is definitely reaching into the highest possible realm of special attack we have ever seen in this game, meaning that her Fiery Wraths and Fierce Fiery Wraths are going to be some of the most nuclear moves you have ever seen. Not only that, she has amazing flinch ability and can apply damage guard to herself, as well as buff her special moves next with her ability to drop below half HP, meaning that her Fierce Fiery Wrath, one of the best buddy moves in the game, will be able to just wipe out enemies off of the face of the planet. Marnie, absolutely insane character with her self-sufficiency, her healing, damage guard, flinching ability, and just obviously absurd levels of strength, and her ability to sync ramp with her passive skills also enables her to be an amazing option and are easily second place winner for the Pokemon Masters EX Striker Awards. Coming in at first place, to nobody's surprise, is Neo Champion Red and Articuno with 304 votes. Neo Champion Red's ability to do absolutely absurd damage with Frozen Wings Ice Beam is unparalleled by most other sync pairs. A little bit of a low special attack stat, but that's easily made up for by the fact that he is able to easily buff his special moves next to +3, +4, +5 with very little issue, especially with other sync pairs you would support around him. Red's damage is absurd. Not only that, he's able to instantly freeze opponents with his Frozen Wings Ice Beam, meaning he's got amazing disruption ability, even better than that of Neo Champion Marnie with her flinching capabilities. He's got easily the best striker sync nuke in the game, as well as having one of the best partners as in the form of Irida and Glaceon, as well as Neo Champion Blue and Zapdos. By far one of the best team compositions in the game, and by far one of the best strikers in the game. Being able to do sync ramping setups with his trainer moves ability to reduce sync countdown, as well as many other capabilities of characters like sprint sync pairs, Red is able to absolutely annihilate enemies extremely quickly with his sync ramping capabilities, as well as absurd levels of strength. He's able to fit on a wide variety of teams and just sweep the enemy no matter who they are, be it an ultimate battle, this champion stadium, a legendary arena, whatever it may be. Red will be there to annihilate. For our next award, we have the Golden Signu Steven Award, which will be given out to the tech character with the absolute best abilities to do a wide variety of things for both themselves as well as their party, whether it be disrupting enemies, doing damage, supporting allies, whatever it may be. A character that is able to help allies do better damage as well as maintain survivability is obviously one of the best roles of a tech character. Tech characters are absolutely absurd, and in third place for our third most valuable tech sync pair voted with 89 votes is Irida and Glaceon. Irida and Glaceon was released back in June, as well as obviously being just an absurd character that can help out so many ice types. She was by far the carrier of the ice types on release and still is probably one of the best carriers of ice types now, as she is, as stated prior, the best partner for Neo Champion Red in terms of damage as well as enabling, being able to set Ice Zone and Hail, support allies when Hail is activated, as well as protect allies from damage in Hail, and instead apply gradual healing to allies with her trainer move. She is an amazing supportive character that can even do great damage with her Icy Wind, which is able to debuff special attack, special defense, and speed if gridded properly, as well as have the ability to extend Ice Zone and Hail if gridded properly for that. This character's got so many abilities that can make her strong, and not only that, she has an immensely powerful buddy move in the form of Dancing Ice Beam, which is able to debuff enemy special defense by 4 and apply gauge acceleration to the team, and essentially acts as a second sync move, meaning if you need a form of quick power, it will be there and you can use it to annihilate anything in your wake. Not only is she able to debuff and support, but her damage is unprecedented for most of the other techs in the game. Congratulations, Irida, you win third place. And in second place, with a resounding 93 votes, only 4 more than Irida, is Adamant and Leafeon. Adamant and Leafeon's ability to do a lot of different things is why they are higher than Irida. His defensive capability not only is he able to go on the offensive as well as disrupt enemies as a tech should, but he can even go on the defensive. He's got himself the Synthesis healing ability, the Master passive for physical damage reduction, as well as Sunscreen 2 in the grid, meaning if you need Adamant to do damage or heal, he's able to do both, whichever you need. Speaking of damage, he has his Razor Sharp Razor Leaf Buddy move, which is able to debuff enemy grass rebuff by 1 stat rank every time it is used for a total of -2 grass rebuff, meaning he can act as a substitute for grassy terrain if needed, but he partners up extremely well with characters like Signu Acerola and Mix Scout Red, and can even make full abuse of the grassy terrain himself, as well as help allies do extra damage with the grass rebuff. He's able to lower defense as well as set Sun and extend Sun, and do immense amounts of damage with his Leaf Blades, as well as having one of the best tech nukes in the game with his accelerating time Razor Leaf, whether it's multipliers of Haymaker, Solar Flare, as well as many other things. This guy is absolutely insane in terms of damage, and pretty unparalleled for most other techs. Not only that, again, he's got the defensive profile, and he's got himself the self-sufficiency with his critical freebie, as well as guaranteed crits with clutch critical, being able to do that as well. Immensely strong character, stun extension, healing, a lot of damage. Adamant is a core staple for any grass type team you want to run, as well as, of course, being one of the best tech sync pairs in the game, only beaten out by the opinion of the people, by Neo Champion Leaf and Moltres, winning the Golden Signu Steven Award for the best, most valuable tech with 98 votes, only 5 more votes than Adamant, meaning it was extremely split. She only won out by against Irida by 9 votes, and again, Adamant by 5 votes, so this competition was extremely competitive, surprisingly enough. I expected a far bigger sweep, but hey, here we are. Neo Champion Leaf has so many amazing abilities. She can go on the defensive profile with her ability to debuff enemy attack, defense, special attack, and special defense with her AoE Leer move because of her Master of Palette passive, as well as do potion healing. So if you do need that defensive capability, she has potions to heal, but obviously that is not what you want most of the time. You tend to want to use that Leer, debuff enemy stats, and then go for her Fiery Wings Flare Blitz, which is her buddy move that can enable Sun as well as double enemy stat debuffs, meaning if the enemy is at -1 on every stat, such as the cases with Holiday, Viola, and Vivillon, you can then double those debuffs, meaning that the enemy can get from -1 to -6 extremely quickly due to Leaf's capabilities, as well as, of course, taking tons of damage from her Fiery Wings Flare Blitz, because Leaf is no joke in the offensive department either. She can do absurd levels of damage, maybe not to the level of modern strikers, but especially for a character who is not meant to be focused on damage, she is insane. Of course, having one of the best sync nukes in the game as well, up there with Adaman for sure, as well as characters like Neo Champion Serena. You've got her sync nuke doing an immense amount of damage, meaning she is a staple on all fire-type teams and can be immensely powerful and useful for all allies that she is with her abilities to debuff offenses and defenses extremely quickly, as well as setting Sun and having a great potion profile, extending Sun as well, and just doing so many different things. This Neo Champion Leaf and Moltres character is absolutely absurd, not to mention the Master passive, being able to buff physical allies, is just immaculate, and setting fire rebuff. Just so many different things that this character can do. Amazing character, amazing sync pair, and definitely one of the best characters released in the game, but that is kind of what you would expect from a 4th anniversary headliner. Anyway, those were the Tech Awards, the Signusuit Steven Golden Award given to Neo Champion Leaf and Moltres. Amazing competition here, very surprised how close it was between 1st and 3rd place. Even going far beyond that, I'm sure the votes were evenly split far more ways with characters such as Special Costume Steven and Stoutland, but I digress. Let's move on to the Golden Skyla and Swano Award, where we will look at the best, most valuable support sync pair released in 2023. Coming in at 3rd place for the Bronze Trophy is Neo Champion Rosa and Meloetta with 36 votes. I'm sure if we let this character cook in the oven a little bit longer, since she merely released 5 days ago, I'm sure that a lot of people would have definitely far better opinions on her. But of course, due to her late release, I'm sure that there is a little bit of skew in the data because of that. But obviously, there is no denying it that Neo Champion Rosa and Meloetta is an absolutely absurd Master Fair sync pair, being able to infinitely raise special and physical moves next as many times as you need her to for until literally the end of time. She can buff these stats. She can apply potion healing, of course, with her potions, sing and teeter dance, as well as her Relic Song of Wonder for sleep and confusion. You can do it for, of course, great utility. She has her trainer move, which can raise special and physical moves next at even quicker rates than her Relic Song of Wonder, as well as raising speed of all allies, which is a far more necessary ability than a lot of sync pairs can provide. Amazing stuff right there, of course. Go Viral 9 on her grid, of course, being able to make Sing go AoE, which is amazing by itself. Apply Fighting and Psychic rebuff, making her a staple on Fighting and Psychic type teams, most usually. Is absolutely insane as well. Got a great defensive profile as well with Team Stoic 9 and Force Field 9, meaning she can raise allies' defenses. She can buff ally crit as well with Relic Song of Wonder, as well as raise random stats, meaning that she can definitely provide you a lot of stat buffs that you may need, especially for your characters that abuse abilities like Good Form or Rising Tide. These characters will benefit far more from Rosa's existence than a lot of others. Rosa, absolutely insane support, definitely deserving of the 3rd place Bronze Trophy Award, but for 2nd place, winning the Silver Trophy at a grand total of 54 votes, we have Neo Champion Bede and Galarian Articuno. Neo Champion Bede released during the 3.5 anniversary, and it's, of course, him being the god support of the 3.5 anniversary that he makes it onto this list. Bede having the capability to buff ally attack, special attack, crit, and special and physical moves next all in one go with his trainer move is an extremely reliable ability, even though it does cost 4 gauges, because Bede is also extremely good at buffing free moves next with his intimidating Freezing Glare, and not only can he buff all those stats and free moves next, as well as doing things such as raising defenses, he can also do damage. Intimidating Freezing Glare at 5 out of 5 has 204 power, and Freezing Glare at normal has 187 base power, coming off of a 260-ish special attack when EX, means that Bede is actually going to be doing some decent damage for a supporting sync pair, meaning that you don't have to rely on your other characters to do damage because Bede can do it for you. I'm kidding, that's mostly a joke, but of course, being able to do some actual sufficient chip damage as a supporting character is definitely a relatively valuable ability and something not to be underestimated. He's obviously got got NPR as well as a passive skill, meaning you can use his trainer move up to 3 times to max crit and special attack and physical attack, as well as buff special and physical moves next 2+3 if needed. He can also buff defenses even quicker with his intimidating freezing glare with barricade buddies and shielded in the grid, as well as apply entry freebie in the grid as well, meaning you don't have to worry about the 4 gauge cost of his trainer move, so you can get started buffing extremely quick, making him an extremely fast support as well as an extremely offensive one. Definitely worthy of his second place title, not to mention his sync ramping abilities with Adrenaline 1 and his innate passive skill makes him definitely a very, very valuable sync pair to have on your team. And of course, coming in at number 1, to absolutely no one's surprise, with 327 votes, is Neo Champion Blue and Zapdos. What can you say about Neo Champion Blue and Zapdos that has not already been said by the masses online? He is absolutely absurd. Being able to buff special attack, special defense, physical defense, speed, crit, apply a lot of healing with his Thundering Wings Roost, being the absolute best wall in the game, pretty much in contention by no one, as well as apply electric rebuff with of 2 layers with his Discharge and Sync move, speed buffs with X Speed All Plus, as so many different things. This character is absolutely absurd. He's able to debuff attack and special attack using his Discharge, which of course is AoE, with Overwhelm and Satisfied Snicker 9, as well as debuff enemy defense on his Sync move the first time it is used each battle. Team Sync Think 9, giving him even more special moves next for his allies, is very good as well, and him even be able to go on the offensive with Brain Power and Furious Brain, coming off of his 236 special attack stat with the Strike EX roll, means that this Neo Champion Blue can actually end up doing a little bit of damage, especially if you are running him with partners such as Ash, Signu to Thunderbolt Red, or whoever you may be running him with. Neo Champion Blue is an absurd support, not only on the special side, but the physical side as well, because he is simply enabling your team to survive with immense amounts of health. He's one of the best off-region characters in the game, for sure, with his healing and defensive prowess, as well as his offensive debuffing prowess as well, making him by far the most valuable support of 2023, and easily taking home the Golden Skyla Award. The 4th award is the Golden Leer Award for the most valuable sprint sync pair. The sprint role is extremely new, but it mostly judges the sync pair's ability to abuse sync countdown while applying great damage or other useful abilities to your team. There were only 5 sprint sync pairs in 2023, but I am sure that we will receive more in 2024. The 3rd place Bronze Leer Award winner, with 67 votes, is Paulo and Lycanroc. Paulo released during the hype of the 4th anniversary and was mostly overshadowed by the Neo Champions, but please, make no mistake, Paulo's ability to do great damage with his max moves and sync moves, as well as enable sync countdown from the prior to and use his Accelerock, makes it so your team can reach their maximum sync move capability in the next sync move within far fewer turns than most other team compositions. Paulo's support with Willful Howl also makes his team setups very diverse, as he can enable a lot of other damage dealers quite early on with his amazing sync ramping potential. In second place with 81 votes was Nemona and Palmot. Nemona was our debut introduction to the sprint role, and people initially had mixed feelings. As time went on and Nemona was more used, people realized that she was a great addition to many physical teams due to her ramping ability being extremely top tier at the time, as well as being able to support with endurance and damage guard with her trainer move. Nemona's buddy move can do staggering amounts of damage when set up correctly, and she can even do 2 of them with her buddy move MP Restoration passive skill. She's easily outshined on optimal electric teams, but on a broader stage, Nemona easily looks impressive in general as a sync pair. And to wrap it up, with the winner of the Golden Leer Award is Ray and Hisuian Decidueye with 335 votes. Ray was the 4th ever sprint role sync pair with his ability to ramp in fast-paced teams and is easily comparable to someone like Paulo, but Ray also has the absolutely absurd strength with his Triple Arrows Barrage buddy move. Ray can launch this every single time a sync move is used, and it does AoE damage with guaranteed flinching and defense debuffing. Combining Ray with Aura Cynthia for double sprint ramping and allowing Cynthia's zone to stay active, or using Neo Champion Hop for defense debuffing, allows Ray's damage to be comparable to that of a Master Fair. Even outside of his Triple Arrows Barrage, his regular Triple Arrows still does consistent damage until you get to your next sync move to launch your next Triple Arrows Barrage. Ray's ramping and absurd strength, combined with flinching, physical moves up next, and defense debuffing, allow him to easily take the throne for the most valuable sprint sync pair. Our next award is the Golden Holiday Whitney Award for the most valuable field sync pair. The absolute most important role of a field sync pair is that they're able to set their zone reliably without disrupting the flow of battle and impeding any other character's damage. So, going into third place for our most voted for, most optimal field sync pair was Holiday Viola and Vivillon at 76 votes. Holiday Viola is able to set Bug Zone, which is extremely useful because she's able to do it on her own, on her trainer move, and not rely on her sync move, though you definitely can because her sync nuke is not the worst in the world. But she's able to set Bug Zone, which is extremely helpful for characters such as Alder and Signu Hilbert, being the best benefiters of it. And not only that, she's able to debuff special attack to further enable characters like Alder to do extra better damage. She's also able to debuff every single stat by 1 with her Frozen Butterfly Stun Spore, which combined with a character like Neo Champion Leaf means that you can debuff every single stat other than crit of an enemy, which is extremely useful. Other than that, she gets support for allies whenever enemies are paralyzed. She can also do consistent paralysis and confusion if need be, as well as having stuff like Head Start 1 in the grid in order to do a little bit of sync ramping capability if you need to. But of course, her best thing is that she's able to do damage reduction in Bug Zone, support when enemies are paralyzed, Omni debuff by 1, as well as of course set Bug Zone and debuff enemy special attack. Very useful sync pair. And definitely one of the better representations of a character that can do a lot of utility-based abilities as a field sync pair. Coming in second place for the silver trophy is Mix Red and Venusaur at 105 votes. Mix Scout Red was initially not liked upon release, but mostly due to his a way of accessibility, let's say, not because of his kit. And is still probably not liked because of it, but still, I digress. Red's ability is setting grassy terrain, which is extremely useful for not only him, but for his allies. He is one of the most, if not the most optimal character to run on a grass team alongside characters like Adaman or Signu Acerola to be able to do as much damage as possible, especially with his special defense debuffing capability with Giga Frenzy Plant being an AoE move that has no split damage across multiple enemies that can debuff special defense, as well as immense defensive prowess with his trainer move being able to raise defense and special attack of an ally by 2 and apply gradual healing, as well as apply mini potions to the team, meaning he can do a lot of consistent healing for his allies and help them survive in longer battles, and again making him do extra great damage with grassy terrain up in battle with his sync move, as well as his max move, Max Overgrowth, 440 power of being able to set grassy terrain there as well. Red's got a lot of abilities to set grassy terrain and make abuse of them, and help his allies make abuse of them as well. Definitely a great character and a great representation of the field role. In first place, winning the Holiday Whitney Golden Trophy is Akari and Hisuian Samurai at 229 votes. This sync pair is able to do a lot of great damage, as well as set Dark Zone, an ability which is still definitely widely desired, especially for characters like Neo Champion Marnie or Special Costume Zinnia, who are able to make extreme use of the Dark Zone she's able to set. Akari is able to set Dark Zone on her sync move, but also with her trainer move Mutual Understanding, which of course sets Dark Zone and is able to buff an ally's speed by 4 and increase physical and special moves next by 2, meaning that she has immense support capability, as well as the ability to set Dark Zone not once but twice, multiple times if you're able to get trainer move NPR if you desire to pick that up. Other than that, Akari is able to set Dark Damage Field, which can be extended in her grid, which then enables her top performer Ceaseless Edge, a 2-gauge move, 220 power to do a lot more damage as well. Doing up to 60% extra damage alongside her innate of Crit Strike 2 to be sure to do a lot of extra damage and just do a ton for a dark character especially. Definitely one of the top dark characters in the game, and definitely obviously the winner for the most valuable field sync pair in the game, with her good damage, her good supporting capability, her potions, her amazing damage, and etc. Akari and Hisuian Samurai is definitely an extremely useful sync pair, and will definitely help you out a lot the more that you're able to use her, especially with other dark characters, again, like Special Costume Zinnia and Neo Champion Marnie. So that concludes the award for the best, most valuable field sync pair. Let's move on to the most valuable overall Pokefair character. Here we have the Golden Lance Award for the most valuable Pokefair character of 2023. This tends to be just the most valuable Pokefair in general, whether it be a support, tech, or a striker, a character that people think adds the most to the team, and obviously we have a lot of amazing candidates this year for sure. With the amount of Pokefairs being unlike any other year prior, we definitely have a lot of amazing candidates. So, coming in at third place for the most valuable Pokefair with 55 total votes is Signu, Diantha, and Diancie. A little bit surprising to me, but it definitely makes sense once you look at her kit. She released at the near beginning of the year back in January. She was the first ever Rock Zone setting character, and I am quite certain she is still the only character that can set Rock Zone to this day, being a great buff for other Rock characters, especially like Paulo and Emmett, those type of Rock characters that could use the buff in power. But obviously Diantha here, she's able to do a lot of solid abilities, such as reduce sync countdown with her Trina move, buff physical moves next as well, and reduce sync countdown even further when her Diancie is Mega Evolved. She's got immensely good physical utility as well for buffing her own stats with Honing Hit 9 and debuffing defense on her Pink Diamond Storm, which raises allies' defense and lowers enemy defense and is an AoE move, meaning you can get fast defense debuffs in quickly, as well as, of course, be able to raise your own defensive prowess, meaning you've got yourself that good defensive capability. She's got great multipliers such as Cakewalk and Tough Cookie as well, and can debuff speed with Rock Tomb, as well as having Tripwire, Trip Twice, and other such capabilities that enable her to debuff speed far better than most other sync pairs in the game. As well as setting sync damage guard with her sync move, as well as doing catalytic kick, meaning that this character is not only capable of doing solid damage with her Pink Diamond Storm and her nuke, but she's also got a good utility prowess such as debuffing defense, raising ally defense, reducing sync countdown, of course, being one of her best abilities, as well as applying gauge acceleration. Definitely earning this character the third spot of the most valuable sync pairs to have in 2023, and of course the Rock Zone. Absolutely immaculate abilities. Coming in at second place, we have our first repeating offender, so to say, at 59 total votes, only 4 more than Diantha, is Ray and Hisuian Decidueye again. I don't think we need to go over why Ray was so good and so valuable. Defense debuffing, flinching, amazing damage, the sync ramping was amazing. Ray, of course, coming in at second place definitely makes sense a lot to me personally, and I'm sure you, the audience, would definitely understand as well, especially if you have used him yourself. So skipping on to the winner of the Golden Lance Award, we have the most valuable Pokefair with 126 total votes, over double of what Ray has. We have Signu, Acerola, and Tapu Bulu. This character was absolutely insane and definitely one of the best physical supports in the game, probably the best single physical supporting character in the game specifically. With her ability to set grassy terrain and sun, she is able to do 2 extremely synergizing weather effects / terrain effects, meaning that all grass types, all fire types are able to benefit immensely. And not only that, she was able to raise all allies' physical moves next every single time any weather, terrain, or zone was activated in battle, raising allies' physical attack with her Unbreakable Swords Dance, as well as buffing crit with her Trainer move and speed if sun was up, meaning she could buff speed, crit, attack, and physical moves next all at the same time while keeping grassy terrain and sun activated, having pretty solid physical bulk as well, especially alongside her best partners such as Adamant and Mix Red, meaning that she was able to do a lot of good physical bulk with her sunscreen type of ability in her passive skills, which is definitely very, very nice. She's still an immensely useful character for all physical buffing teams, definitely up there alongside Special Costume Steven in their ability to help out physical attackers, but of course, obviously, she shines, no pun intended, on the fire teams and grass teams, so be sure to pick up this character, personally in my opinion, if you haven't. But I'm kidding, of course. So she is, of course, the winner for the Lance Golden Award here for the most valuable Pokefair. Congratulations, Signu, Acerola, and Tapu Bulu, as well as, of course, all of the other winners here. So yeah, let's move on to the next award, which is the most valuable Master Fair character. Now, not to ruin the surprise or anything for the Most Valuable Master Fair Award, which of course we have Ash representing here with his golden trophy, all of these characters are actually repeats of previous characters that we have seen, so do keep that in mind while going on this list. But of course, this is obviously to be expected, as most of these most valuable characters in the game are Master Fairs, and obviously then there will be repeats. Anyway, I digress. Moving on to the third place Most Valuable Master Fair Award with 40 votes is Neo Champion Marnie and Galarian Moltres. As stated prior, this character's got amazing striker capabilities with her Fierce Fiery Wrath, as well as her regular Fiery Wrath, and her ability to have her special attack go over 600, and of course buffing her special moves next and whatnot when dropping below half HP, and having her good healing ability with that, as well as Damage Guard from Protect, make her extremely valuable as a striker character, as well as of course the flinches and whatnot. Just an insane character. Going on to second place here for the Most Valuable Master Fair with 121 votes, over double of what Marnie has, over triple actually, is Neo Champion Red and Articuno. As expected, again, Red is insane. You know, his guaranteed freeze, his special moves next ramping, his potential for sync ramping, setting hail, setting hail, and obviously his guaranteed freeze, his amazing damage. New Champion Red, absolutely absurd character, fits on a lot of different teams, especially with his master passive and whatnot. Definitely makes him extremely valuable as a overall character, and of course Master Fair in general. But of course, coming in at first place, again, probably to nobody's surprise, is Neo Champion Blue and Zapdos with 206 total votes. Definitely a far less gap between him as a support and then him as the Most Valuable Master Fair, but still, of course, he takes the lead by a very wide margin. Again, all of his abilities are insane. He is by far the best support in the game with all of his defensive utility, being able to debuff attack and special attack, as well as raise ally defense and special defense, apply great healing with his Thundering Wings Roost, as well as special attack prowess with his special attack buffing, crit buffing, special moves next buffing. Obviously, he's got speed buffing as well, electric rebuff, which is great for Signu Suit Thunderbolt Red, Ash, Signu Suit Roxy, Signu Suit Pierce. All of these types of characters all benefit immensely from the electric rebuff, and of course, just any character in general that you put with Blue is essentially going to be unable to die. So, Neo Champion Blue, of course, takes the best Master Fair, Ash Golden Award. So, congratulations. Let's move on finally to something different, where we actually have the Most Valuable Seasonal Award. For the Golden Palatine's Dawn Award, we have her representing the most valuable seasonal sync pair. The most valuable seasonal sync pairs are obviously the characters that are able to provide a lot, especially to niche teams. So going into third place, we actually have New Year's Lesia and Galarian Rapidash with 51 total votes. A little bit surprising to me initially, but once I thought about it a little more, it does make sense. Lesia obviously helps out the physical side of the fairy type team, which is extremely useful and was extremely lacking until the release of BP Valerie back during the 4th anniversary. So New Year's Lesia had over half of a year to marinate and let herself be known as an extremely strong offensive fairy prowess with her ramming speed and inertia capabilities, as well as other things that make her fairy shift giga impacts and her dream it be it fairy impacts hit a lot harder, and just a very, very strong fairy striker in general. Obviously doesn't need to be on the physical side. She is still just one of the best fairy strikers in the game, and can help out a lot of people who do not have great fairy characters, which I am probably sure is some of you, because fairy is by far one of the worst types in the game. So thankfully New Year's Lesia is able to help mitigate that with her overall amazing offensive prowess. Coming in at second place for this trophy is Summer, Tate, and Jirachi with 59 votes. Only 8 more than Lesia, which does make sense. Tate's got a ton of great abilities, such as being able to paralyze, as well as use abilities like Flash Cannon and Charm to debuff enemies' special defense and physical attack. He can also apply move gauge acceleration and is extremely self-sufficient with his buffing. But of course, one of his most absurd mechanics is his Doom Desire, which happens every time he uses a move that deals damage, that targets the opponent, rather, meaning that he's able to do a ton of great damage with Doom Desire and Flash Cannon together off of his 424 special attack stat. He's got a lot of great stuff. And not only that, in his grid, he's got Brain Teaser, Rising Rising Tide and Static Shock 5 in order to really make his stat difference hit home and make himself well known as an amazing steel attacker, as well as a good debuffer in general, especially with his used Doom Desire team stat up 2, raising one of all ally stats at random, as well as being able to debuff enemy special defense extremely consistently with his Pokemon on opponent special defense down to 9 ability, which is going to be great for if you're using, of course, Flash Cannon or something else. So Tate here, very, very great steel damage dealer, especially alongside someone like Variety Thornton, and obviously he could benefit immensely from the release of New Year's Wallace as well. Amazing character here, and obviously one of the best seasonals, one of the most valuable seasonals to pick up for his special steel prowess, as well as, of course, debuffing and doing a ton of other great things. And, of course, with an overwhelming amount of votes, nearly quadruple the amount of votes of Tate had, we have, for the most valuable seasonal award, winning the Palatine's Dawn Golden Trophy, Special Costumes Steven and Stoutland with 206 total votes, the exact same amount, surprisingly, as Neo Champion Blue and Zapdos for the last award of the most valuable Master Fair. Special Costumes Steven and Stoutland don't need an introduction. If you have ever seen this character, you have either been on the side that has called them extremely insane and stupid, or you have been on the side that has said, don't use this character in showcases, they invalidate them. Probably anyway, because and no one's lying. Special Costume Steven pretty much invalidates showcases because he is able to enable every single physical attacker in the game to do absurd levels of damage with his ability to buff physical moves next to +8 in 2 turns, debuff enemy defense, attack, and speed with his buddy Leer on AoE as well, apply the no evasion effect to the target, and I believe the no stat increase effect as well. Lower enemies type weakness rebuff by 1, meaning if you are doing a super effective stage, not only are you getting physical moves next, super effective next, which he also has, by the way, and defense debuffs, you are then also getting an extra 30% damage from the rebuff he is able to set, meaning he's got insane prowess as a tech character despite having all of these amazing support capabilities. Not only is he able to do that, he actually has a solid normal nuke with about 200 to 250% in total multipliers, meaning if you run him alongside the normal zone setting Palmer and Regigigas, you can actually get a pretty reliable and pretty strong nuke out of Special Costume Steven in Stoutland. So yeah, amazing special costume character and definitely the most valuable seasonal character to pick up in the game for sure. Probably competing with some of the top characters for the most valuable overall sync pair in the game, at least in my personal opinion. Anyway, that was the Palatine's Dawn Golden Award for the most valuable seasonal. Let's move on to the next award, which will be for the most valuable free to play sync pair. For the most valuable free sync pair award, we have Bugsy and Scyther as the Golden Trophy prominent character here. And just going right into this, for third place, we have Eve and Eevee at 48 total votes. Eve and Eevee is a little bit surprising to me, but it does make a lot of sense once you look at it. Her stats are actually not horrible, and she can actually make use of a 200% total nuke in order to actually do some solid damage with her normal nuke multipliers. But she also has Unfortuitous 9 in the grid, meaning she can randomly debuff a stat by 1, which is pretty useful in its own right, as well as having the ability to raise evasion when using her trainer move, as well as double team, meaning she can actually be an evasion spammer with abilities such as Fail Forward, as well as Ridicure 2 and whatnot. You can actually make abuse of the evasion buffing from Eve, as well as her group Slapdash 9 in the grid, meaning that I'm pretty sure a lot of the votes for Eve here actually came from people using her in the Gauntlet, because she can definitely provide a lot, especially as a free-to-play character. Gobsmack 4, group Slapdash 9, Move Gauge Refresh, Fortuitous 9, her evasion buffs, Shielding Strikes, and Barricade on the trainer move for her own actual defensive prowess, means that Eve and Eevee can actually be very, very clutch if used with proper luck and RNG. So she takes the third place spot for the most valuable free-to-play sync pair to have. Congratulations to Eve and Eevee. A little bit surprising to me, but I'm not going to complain, obviously, of course. Coming in at second place, a lot more sensible to me, personally, we have Victor and Spectre with 138 total votes, a little bit more than double of what Eve and Eevee had. But it makes sense. Victor is able to set Ghost Zone completely for free, the first ever free-to-play Ghost Zone setter, and if I remember off the top of my head, the second ever Ghost Zone setter in the game. He's also able to make abuse of max Phantasm, meaning that he's able to do a lot of good damage as well as debuff enemy physical defense. He's able to use Shadow Ball for consistent ghost damage, as well as do an okay nuke for a free-to-play character, as well as having support capability of special attack and crit on his trainer move, meaning you can obviously use it to buff himself, but you can then also try and use it to buff an ally if you do need that supportive capability. Setting Ghost Zone alone does make Victor quite valuable to have, but his other abilities such as the max move and whatnot, as well as stuff like Gobsmack, makes him a pretty valuable character to have, and obviously one of the most valuable free-to-play characters in the game. Coming in at number 1, the most valuable free-to-play character, winning the Golden Bugsy and Scyther Award, is Dana and Regice with 150 total votes. Dana is an absolutely absurd free-to-play sync pair, being a support character with Regice, as stated. She has the Ice Teamwork passive, with Ice, of course, being one of the best teams in the game. She is a relatively viable character to run alongside Neo Champion Red and Irida. Of course, not the most optimal, but for those who want to have the triple Ice master passive setup, then of course you can go ahead and do that, and it would definitely work to a pretty good effect. But Dana also has super effective next as a free-to-play sync pair, which was one previously a thing that was limited to limited sync pairs, but now because we have Dana here, we can actually get super effective next for free, which is immensely useful for all characters because you are obviously going to be able to do so much more damage if you are facing enemies weak to super effective attacks, of course. So that means she fits on a wide variety of teams. Anytime you feel like you may need super effective next, Dana can fit on that slot. Dana is also able to buff ally defense and special defense, as well as use Frost Breath as a 2-gauge spammable, but her most impactful thing, other than super effective next, probably is her trainer move, which is able to do a full heal of an ally and apply damage guard next to them. So if you are in a sticky situation and need healing, Dana can do it in a pinch, no matter what level of HP you're at. Dana will be able to use this ability and give you that full heal, top you up, and make sure that you're able to go on for at least a little bit longer and potentially grab yourself that win. And she can do this all at 1 out of 5. This is not even including her grid, where she has other useful abilities, such as ramp up on Frost Breath and a few other things. So yeah, Dana and Regice definitely take the number 1 spot for the most valuable free-to-play character with 150 votes, and congratulations, and here is your Golden Bugsy and Scyther Award, because apparently they never want to rerun Bugsy and Scyther. Anyway, I digress. Let's move on to the next award, which is the best, most valuable Eggmon Award, and honestly, I'm sure no one's going to be surprised by this. Let's go on over there. For the most valuable Eggmon Award, I'm just going to go ahead and jump into it. At 3rd place, we have Egg Umbreon with 73 total votes. Egg Umbreon is able to raise his or her own defense and special defense and crit, but of course the most valuable ability is being able to set Dark Zone. Now that is definitely obviously a very useful ability. Obviously a lot of characters nowadays can set Dark Zone, but still, being a free-to-play Eggmon character, free-to-play character in general, being able to set Dark Zone is still very, very useful, and definitely makes Umbreon an extremely useful Eggmon to have, especially as one of the evolutions. Also having Bite and whatnot in order to potentially get that 30% flinch chance in there makes Umbreon have at least a little bit more advantage over some of the other evolution Eggmons, so it gives it the number 3 win for the most valuable Eggmon. And of course, by the way, we have the Golden Gyarados here representing the most valuable Eggmon. And then, of course, for 2nd place for the most valuable Eggmon at 76 total votes, we have Egg Glaceon. Now, I'm surprised Egg Glaceon did not take the number 1 spot, but it makes a little bit of sense. Egg Glaceon is able to set Ice Zone, of course, similar to Umbreon, but instead of having that 30% chance to flinch with Bite, she has had a 10% chance to freeze with Ice Beam. But obviously Glaceon's ability to set Ice Zone is far more limited than Dark Zone, with the only other Ice Zone setter other than Grusha coming up is Irida herself. So being able to set Ice Zone as a free-to-play character is extremely valuable, especially if you don't have Irida. You can help out characters like Neo Champion Red, Signu, and Getsis, and these type of characters that do do desire having Ice Zone, definitely making them a pretty valuable Eggmon to have. And of course, obviously, alongside Umbreon, having the move gauge refresh abilities, move gauge acceleration on Ice Zone, all of that stuff. So Egg Glaceon definitely taking the number 2 spot. No surprise to me personally. And coming in at number 1 for the most valuable Eggmon, only 5 votes ahead of Glaceon, is Egg Sylveon. Egg Sylveon wins here, I guess, because of Fairy Zone, because being able to work and synergize with Penny and Valerie specifically for the triple Sylveon setup. I am assuming that is why they won for the memes. Mostly kidding there, of course, but obviously being able to set Fairy Zone is pretty valuable as well. All three of these characters, I think, definitely could fluctuate a little bit in terms of their ranking, but being able to set Fairy Zone for Sylveon is why it got the win here, of course. Being able to synergize again with Penny and her fairy rebuff alongside any other fairy attacker in the middle is definitely going to be a pretty strong fairy composition, especially because, again, fairy is more lacking than most other types for sure. So being able to set Fairy Zone and rebuff with 2 Sylveons is definitely very, very nice. As I stated prior, you can probably switch around these Eggmons a little bit. Glaceon, I think, should probably have won, but of course, I'm not going to take the win from Sylveon. This is what the people wanted. This is what the people got. So congratulations to all 3 evolutions for winning the most valuable Eggmon and stealing the win from characters or Eggmons like the Egg Paldea starters. Congratulations. Now let's move on to the favorite new character award. With the Golden Cynthia Award for the most valuable favorite new character, we've got ourselves many viable candidates. Obviously, having new sync pairs and new characters be introduced into the game is very, very nice. We had so many great options here, but 3 took the lead in order to actually give us the win here. And in third place, with a total of 53 votes, was Irida. Irida is obviously the Pearl clan leader from Pokemon Legends Arceus and was the second ever Pokemon Legends Arceus character to release alongside Adaman, and obviously Legends Arceus was extremely hyped up and is still extremely hyped up to this day. Many people, myself included, are still waiting for Volo to release, whether it be with something like Togekiss or Garchomp or Arcanine or even Giratina itself. So this goes to show you how popular Legends Arceus is, how many people want these characters. DNA please. Anyway, I digress. Irida being the Pearl clan leader and being obviously the obsessed one with Palkia, the leading Pokemon in Pokemon Shining Pearl, Pokemon Pearl, as well as of course a major figure in the game Legends Arceus as well. Being the leader of the Pearl clan and whatnot has given a lot of good feelings for the players and whatnot. Having her actually in the game now alongside Adaman has definitely made people far happier. And Irida is just, of course, a great character and, of course, a very, very loved one. So, moving on to second place, with 55 votes, only 2 votes higher than Irida, was Nemona, the main rival of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Definitely a character that people have equated a lot to Goku with her obsession with battle. A lot of people have mixed opinions on Nemona, but of course it seems the love of Nemona is able to outweigh the hatred because she is definitely one of the most loved rivals in the series, alongside Arven and Penny. Of course, but Nemona here specifically is able to beat out all of them because she is able to represent Scarlet and Violet for the first ever time, being the first ever Scarlet and Violet character in this game alongside Palmot, and giving us the overall hype that we will be getting Scarlet and Violet characters soon. And of course, we have in the form of Penny, Iona, and Grusha coming up very, very soon. So congratulations, Nemona, on your second place win. But unfortunately, you cannot beat out number 1 with 60 votes, only 5 votes higher than Nemona, and only 7 votes higher than Irida, is big man himself, Adaman. I did not rig this at all, trust me. Adaman won on his own. Adaman is the most valuable, not most valuable, the most favorited new character to release in Pokemon Masters EX, similar to Irida in the fact that he is the leader of the Diamond Clan in Pokemon Legends Arceus. He was the first ever Pokemon Legends Arceus character to come into Pokemon Masters, meaning he had that big head start there than a lot of other characters did, because he told us alongside Irida that we will be getting Pokemon Legends Arceus characters into this game soon, and obviously he is still an extremely loved character for being the leader of the Diamond Clan, the worshiper of Almighty Dialga, the leading figure of Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, and of course being a central figure in the plot alongside Irida of Pokemon Legends Arceus. Both of those characters, of course, making it on this top list of the favorite new character. Definitely makes a lot of sense. And of course, Nemona herself making it onto this list as well, being the first ever Scarlet and Violet character, makes a ton of sense to me personally. So congratulations to Adaman, Nemona, and Irida for your placements of first to third, respectively, and winning the Golden, Bronze, and Silver, not in that order, Cynthia Award. Moving on to the favorite outfit award for the number third spot. third winner, and of course representing this trophy we have Anniversary Lily. Couldn't find many other better characters that I wanted to use, but of course we've got Anniversary Lily here to represent. But for third place again we have Neo Champion Rosa, and not Meloetta, but just Neo Champion Rosa herself with 41 votes. Definitely makes a lot of sense. Very beautiful dress and whatnot, and of course being a very recent character, so a little bit of recency bias has crept in there maybe. I don't know, either way. You got Neo Champion Rosa here with a very beautiful dress, very Meloetta themed, with amazing EX colors that change her pinkish type of color to like a pinkish and black, sorry, pinkish and pink, green, and white to a pink, white, and black, if I remember correctly. Neo Champion Rosa definitely got an amazing outfit for sure, especially being the representative of Pokemon Masters, at least used to be, right? Now it's probably red, but back in the day, Rosa was the mascot of Pokemon Masters, and now having her back in this beautiful new outfit is amazing for her. Congratulations, Rosa, for winning third place, rather. And then for second place, with 45 votes, only 4 more than Rosa, we have Neo Champion Nate. Definitely a very great outfit. Alongside Rosa, I forgot to mention this for both of them, but it does kind of represent their Pokestar Studio outfits, more so for Nate than Rosa, I believe, if I remember correctly. But he looks like a nice knight in shining armor type of character, right? He kind of looks like a knight guy, or like a fancy royal rich person, so to speak, right? Especially with his crown and whatnot. He looks like a king. He looks like he could lead a country into warfare if need be, and he definitely looks like a formidable Neo champion, so to speak. So him coming in at second place here, especially over a lot of other characters, is surprising to me, but definitely obviously not unwelcome, of course. Neo Champion Nate being able to represent with this drip that he has is definitely very, very nice. Can't keep a straight face saying that, but I digress. Anyway, coming in first place, winning the Golden Anniversary Lily Trophy, is Neo Champion Marnie with 49 votes. Only 4 more than Nate and only 9 more than Rosa, if I can count. No, only 8 more than Rosa, since I can't count. Neo Champion Marnie, similar to Rosa, has a great dress that represents Galarian Moltres' colors extremely well, with the black and pink, as well as the red and pink with her EX colors. Definitely looks very, very nice for sure. It does not change her normal outfit all too much, but it does, of course, change it pretty much into a dress, which, of course, since people tend to like Marnie's regular design a lot as it is, her Neo Champion design not changing too many aspects about her is definitely a very welcome change for a lot of people, meaning that she was able to easily win out the number 1 award here for the most favorited outfit of 2023. So congratulations, Neo Champion Marnie, Nate, and Rosa, for your wins here in the fashion contest, so to speak. Let's move on and finally end off the Pokemon Masters EX Awards of 2023 with the most favorited sync pair. Coming in at third place for the most favorited sync pair is Neo Champion Blue and Zapdos. This makes a lot of sense to me with 35 votes. Neo Champion Blue and Zapdos being able to do a ton of different things to help out allies and just make so many other characters do a lot better, especially powering up favorite characters like Ash and Thunderbolt Red is probably the key reason as to why he was able to get so high up on this list. Definitely a very, very cool looking character with, and obviously the Pokemon pairing was very nice as well. Neo Champion Blue and Zapdos, on top of their strength, is just a very nice character, and of course being Generation 1, he's got that hype going on behind him, as well as of course having one of the legendary birds. So congratulations, Neo Champion Blue, for your third place win here for the favorite sync pair, and of course, by the way, Signu Lisa Golden Trophy. I wonder why. I wonder why she's representing. Anyway, yeah. Moving on to second place, having 44 votes, 9 more than Neo Champion Blue, is Neo Champion Marnie and Galarian Moltres. As stated prior, Marnie is an extremely popular character. Great design, obviously compared with a Galarian legendary bird of Kanto. If that may not make sense, it kind of does, trust me. She's able to obviously carry some hype with her character and her Pokemon, as well as her level of stupidly strong damage, being a 3.5 anniversary striker, and obviously one of the best strikers in the game. She did have the time of the 3.5 anniversary to now to kind of marinate in people's minds and have obviously a lot of fun with her, especially relative to the release of the 4th anniversary, where there was a whole half year less amount of time that you had to play with them. So Neo Champion Marnie had the time, let's say, to solidify herself as one of as a lot of people's favorite sync pair. So congratulations, Neo Champion Marnie, for your second place award here for the favorited sync pair. And finally, for the Golden Signusuit Elisa Trophy, at 47 total votes, only 3 more than Marnie, we have Neo Champion Red and Articuno. This is expected. Red is probably the most favorited sync pair, not sync pair, favorited character in the Pokemon franchise. So him being able to actually win this award definitely makes a ton of sense, alongside Articuno, especially with Team Mystic used to at least have been the most played team in Pokemon Go, I believe, because people like Articuno, I guess, and blue's obviously a nice color. I think a lot of people probably attracted a little bit to Articuno, especially a lot more than maybe Moltres and Zapdos, but of course I could be wrong about that one. Either way, being paired up with red is going to give Articuno a pretty big boost in terms of popularity, and now of course them being the best striker in the game, it's obviously going to give them a lot of respect as the favorited sync pair, because they're able to absolutely decimate any content in their wake, as well as of course be a iconic pairing that anyone from a mile away can recognize, with Red's iconic look and, outfit and whatnot, as well as Articuno being one of the most iconic Generation 1 Pokemon of existence. So yeah, congratulations to Neo Champion Red and Articuno with your win of the Signu Golden Award. I congratulate you and all of our winners here for the Pokemon Masters EX Awards. Now, coming in for the final awards here is the community section, where I got 3 random participants to state their favorite sync pairs and why. Our first participant here was Sir Orion, with their favorite sync pair 2023 being Oleana and Garbodor. Reason being that she is a cool villain as well as a cool character, and had great character development throughout probably Pokemon Sword and Shield, as well as maybe Pokemon Masters EX as well. So congratulations to Oleana for being someone's favorite. Probably not the only person's favorite, but of course, good job on getting representation on the list here. Second person here to give their feedback was Maddie, with their favorite character being Neo Champion Nate and Shiny Haxorus. Favorite Pokemon, as well as Nate being their favorite protagonist, with a cool outfit and amazing kit. Of course, the circle and zone as well lets him help a lot of other characters, and having a great sync move animation as well definitely made Neo Champion Nate this person's favorite character. So congratulations, Neo Champion Nate. Your capabilities have definitely shined in the hearts of other people. Good job. And our final participant here is Armlo, with their favorite sync pair being Annabelle and Snorlax. Very, very nice sync pair for sure. Definitely a little bit underrated in my opinion, but of course, despite having Snorlax already, Red is not the only one with a Snorlax. We have Annabelle here to make use of Snorlax, as well as having the healing and shield capabilities to be extremely good defensive juggernaut, giving her great representation here, and a little bit definitely far better, far more diverse usage than Red and Snorlax, because she's more defensive while Red can be technically a little bit more offensive there. So yeah, makes her quite fun, and more investment and more levels. You can have a lot of good fun and a lot of great usage there with Annabelle and Snorlax. So congratulations, Annabelle and Snorlax, as well as New Champion Nate, as well as Oleana, for your wins here in the community section for community feedback. Anyway, I digress. We're going to end off the Pokemon Masters EX Awards. As stated prior, please do leave your feedback down in the comments below. I mostly winged it here with the script and whatnot, because it would take me forever to write the script. I tried writing it, but it took me an hour to get through like a fourth of it. And I just kind of figured I needed to get this stuff done as fast as I possibly could. So anyway, yeah, I digress. That has been the Pokemon Masters EX Awards of 2023. Thank you to all who participated, both in the survey as well as the community feedback section, community, whatever you want to call it, section, I guess. Community response section, I guess. So I will be sure to try and poll more people for that community section. It's just something I wanted to do last minute. So thankfully I did get some participants for that. I really do appreciate it to all of you who responded again in the survey, and of course the community responses section. I'll try and do a little bit better next year. I do already have some ideas on how to change up the awards next year to include a big, wider range of sync pairs, because I do admit that a lot of the master fairs like blue and red really carried a lot of the different competitions here. So being able to make them a little bit more variable would definitely be a lot better, so other sync pairs can shine in different aspects. But I do congratulate all of the characters who were able to win here in some aspects. So good job, and thank you all for joining the Pokemon Masters EX Awards. I have been your host, Salamence. I appreciate you all for coming out. Thank you all. Have a great day, and I'll see you all later.